Some of my favorite photos ever that I've seen or that I've ever taken have come from Hawaii. So let's just begin with that. And by the way, I should also explain here. Hang on a second. I took all these with my Canon 5D Mark IV. This is the trusty beast. Right now on it is the 16 to 35 f4 lens. I invested heavily. I've always loved photography, but I heavily invested in cameras and lenses. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, except no card in camera, you big dope. I really got deep into the camera game and really invested when our son was born. It was just the perfect time. I'd always had a decent camera. Back in the early 2000s, I invested in one of the first ever DSLRs. So I've always been around it. I've always loved photography, but I really decided, hey, you know what? These are the memories worth capturing. So this camera is great. It's now outdated. There's a whole new line. The R line for Canon's out. But anyway, long story short, I still love this camera. It takes fantastic images. I'm gonna run it into the ground, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years. I guess I've had it now for almost 4 years. So I'm gonna give it a lifetime full, and then probably upgrade to something else, but not before I, like I said, take tens of thousands of more pictures. I bet you with that camera, no lie, with our son, with vacations in 4 years, I bet you I've snapped that shutter more than 100,000 times. I take a lot of pictures, I really do. And by the way, I love this sunset at Hawaii right here. Look at that. That is just, to me, look at the colors. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, I took that picture. No, that's not it. I'm saying, look what nature offered me for this sunset. This is my favorite time of day. I think across the globe, no matter where you are, sunset, dusk, there's just something about it. It's magical. But especially so in Hawaii. And the torches start to get lit, and there's always a little gentle breeze as the sun is going down. I mean, look at that right there. Look at those colors. Now, these photos might be touched up a little bit, right? There's not a ton of doctoring going on with these, just to get the colors right, to get the levels right. And honestly, I don't even know how it's playing right now in terms of you watching this on a phone screen or whatever. But you know, I don't know how the resolution looks, how the colors look, how the detail looks. I don't know, but here on this screen, still pretty satisfying. I'll take it off here for a second. Look at the colors there. The grass, I mean, you know how they say the grass is always greener on the other side? Just think it's always green in Hawaii. It really is. Oh, speaking of green, look at the gecko. Look at the detail on that gecko. I don't know, that's just an amazing little critter right there. Oh, and look at the color difference right there. Now, I think, you know, I should have explained here the different lenses I use. So, grab it here. I talked about the, this is actually a wide-angle lens. So 16 to 35, that's in millimeters, but if I take this thing all the way wide, I could take a picture of mostly this whole room. It's quite wide. But if I want a longer lens, I have a 50 prime, a 1.2, which means I could do a really shallow depth of field. Longer than that, I also have a 70 to 200 that I use for zoom shots, and I guarantee that's what I took this with. I don't remember for sure, but I can almost tell that I was on a zoom lens, a longer lens, because you can't get too close to this little guy, otherwise he'll run away. He or she will run away, but long lens to take that picture. This one probably similar. I can't really tell. I mean, all the EXIF data is on the photos. Look at the clouds right there. I mean, that is just something you do not get in California. And I love California, trust me. Especially right now, our poor state is on fire in so many places. And feel for everybody. I know we'll talk about that later in the live chat, but that's like a water painting, a watercolor painting up there. Those clouds, that sunlight, I should say. And here's a little bit of a wider shot with that sky and all the green in front of it in the foreground. Yeah, that's amazing. That makes me just relax looking at the photo. Oh, okay. We're switching away from the landscape shots to talk about some really important stuff here. These are favorite items. When I go to Hawaii, if there's a grocery store trip involved, these are purchased pretty much every time. The Maui onion potato chips, little Maui Brewing Company. Now, I'm pretty sure you can get, I don't know about the cookies. Cookies. Is that how you say cookies? The Maui cookies, the macadamia nut cookies on the right there. And any type of macadamia nut milk chocolate things. Oh, so money. So money. Those cans, you never have to worry about bringing them home or emptying them out. Like, they're empty halfway through the trip. But yeah, you can get Maui Brewing Company pretty much at Bevmo's, I want to say, at Total Wine. You can get them around here in the Bay Area, no problem. And the chips, I believe, too. Pretty widely available at grocery stores. This must have been my 2018 trip. I can see right there the December 2018 Best Buy. But yeah, these are must-have staples of every trip to the islands for sure. All right, let me move on here to a couple more photos. Like I said, sunset is just, you can tell right there that the sun is not down. It's lowering in the sky by the shadows, but it hasn't got all red and colory yet. Hasn't gained all those warm tones and hues yet. But I'm definitely in place to take some photos, and there you go. There's a different night. Right now, you understand this night, for whatever reason, and the way the clouds are and the sun is, you're not going to get all those purples and reds. It's just going to go orange right there. But still, a beautiful sunset. And all these, by the way, I should have told you, were taken on the Big Island. I have some other ones from Maui, I believe, but I'm not sure that any of them are on this slideshow. Almost done, by the way, and then I'll get to some Q&A. There's just some various plants. I mean, how cool. I don't know the name of that, unfortunately. I know some of you are smart. Maybe you're a botanist and you do know. It's just so cool to me. That's just because it's stuff that you don't see anywhere in the 48 states. Only on a tropical island do you see something like that. Beautiful colors and flowers. And oh, look at the little bird right there. Can you see that? I can't zoom in. I'll just move my mouse around it. Tiny little guy hiding in there. Oh, yeah, poolside. That's just, that looks like a Saturday right there. I just want to lay down and have a beer. In the shade, by the way. Have I told you about my sunburn, pledge? I never want to get another sunburn again. Never, ever. Why would you want to do that? Why would you even want to risk that? All honestly, and I'm not huge on sunscreen either. I know I'm just going off here about something else and not sharing photos, but another beautiful one here from the northern coast, northwestern coast of the Big Island. Yeah, what I'm saying about getting sunburned is that I don't mind wearing like a rash guard shirt. I don't even care, and I don't like putting on a ton of sunscreen. But what I definitely do not like is any type of sunburn anymore. I just feel like that is so bad for you and your skin and your health. It's painful. It's regrettable. There's a nice sunset for you. Look at the tree in the foreground. Here's the one that I got pretty good. Now, this is not tack sharp. I don't know if I didn't have the settings right, not a high enough shutter speed. But then if you do too high, then you don't get to see everything. But let me take myself off here for a second. This might have been like a 60-second or a 90-second exposure, and you get to see all these stars. And there's like a galaxy up there. Just kidding. I actually don't know what that is. I wish I knew more and I wasn't dumb about space. But or it's a meteor or something. I don't know. But yeah, I was trying to capture this one night by the pool, and I think I got it okay. But next time I get the opportunity, it's got to be on a clear night. Preferably not too much wind. Otherwise, the camera, I mean, if it shakes just a little bit, your shot is blurry. It doesn't work out the same. It's got to be like rock still. In fact, you also should use a remote to start your slow exposure, because if you hit the trigger on here to start the exposure, you're actually jiggling the camera just a little bit. I mean, this thing has to be like, tripod, locked down, sandbagged. Anyway, but you know what? I'm happy with this shot, but I can do better. I definitely can. Oh, more geckos. Love geckos around here. I like this one better. This one's got a more narrow depth of field. I definitely shot this at like, I might have used my 50 on, well, no, because I don't know if I would have been that close. But if I was on the 70 to 200, that's a 2.8 aperture lens. So I was definitely at 2.8 right there to get that narrow depth of field. And some more bird friends. Hawaii's got the best birds. They really do. Not only how they look, but the noises they make in the morning. Why is it that birds, and I think I'm back to the beginning. Why is it that birds outside my house in the morning, they annoy me if they wake me up? But birds in Hawaii, even if I wake up too early, it's like, oh, hey, that sounds nice. Isn't that weird? Maybe I'd get tired of them if I lived out there too. But let me just say this. And let me use some of these pictures as the evidence. How could you not, if you had the opportunity in life, like if you're able to retire comfortably, or something happened here, or you just got a job here, you could do whatever. If you had the opportunity to live there, not forever, but just spend a full year there. Oh, that just sounds awesome. It does. And maybe not forever. Maybe you'd get tired of it. Maybe you'd want to come back to California, which I love. Maybe you would. But do a full year there. Really, really, really soak it in.